Welcome to Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm the head coach, Josh Robinson, and this is the offensive coordinator, Chad Fisher. This past Friday, we took on the Dalton Catamounts and obviously did not receive anywhere near the results that we wanted, but in the end, we have to grow from it. We have to learn our lessons as both players and the coaching staff, and the sun will come up tomorrow, and we'll have to do things that make us better over these next couple of weeks as we get ready for our two other non-region games in preparation for our region play that starts at Ridgeland in a few weeks here. Overall, we just need to go out and work and improve, Coach Fisher.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously the outcome was not what we wanted. You know, we didn't. We struggled at times. Obviously, the score kind of got away from us at times. Obviously, at the end, but. You know, I thought our kids tried to go out there and execute the game plan. I thought we had a fantastic week of practice. The attitude was great. Kids worked hard. But, you know, that's sports. That's life in general. And we're all going to face adverse situations. We're all going to go through situations where we're not going to win every single game. That's not going to happen. That's how sports operates. But, you know, we're a young team offensively. We're still trying to find our footing at times. You know, anytime you're starting 8 brand new starters, you're starting a 9th grader at quarterback. You know, we go through our bumps and bruises there at the beginning, and we work it out as we get towards region play. But you know, there was some very good bright spots in there, and some kids did a lot of good things today. And you know, we played a very good football team, and that's just kind of part of it. But I thought Owen did some good things. I think he's maturing and growing every day. And of course, we'll get into that here in a few minutes. But you know, we did some positive things, and we go back to work. That's what a competitor does. They go back and compete and get better, and we go back to and get things done and take care of business.
You know, I've won and lost football games many times as assistant coach, as a head coach, and in the end, going back to work is really the only answer that there can be. Our kids played hard. You know, but things just didn't go the way we want them to, and we've got to work on it. But at the same time, let's look at our offensive stats. Owen Brooker was 12 for 21 with 74 yards passing on the night.
Yeah, I thought Owen did some good things. You know, the thing about Owen that I'm really pleased with is he's a definite true student of the game. He's learning, he's asking questions, he's doing things that you don't expect a 15-year-old kid to do. He's always wanting to know more. He's always wanting to know why we're doing this. What else can we do? And you know, it's fun to coach kids that really want to dive into it. And we've talked about this. He makes a notebook each day of practice. Makes a notebook of our meetings, and I mean that's a sign of a dadgum winner right there. And he's going to get better. And he played well. He played well despite the circumstances. Big crowd, big rival game. But he kept his head about himself. He didn't let it bother him. Had a couple of drops that would have upped his numbers, obviously. But you know, that kid's got he's got some competitive spirit in him, and he'll do just fine. He'll grow.
He'll just like the rest of these guys will. Gavin Ellis came in on the night with 8 carries for 62 yards and really had some good between the tackle carries.
Yeah. Gavin is kind of that guy that we've pretty much established as a between the tackles guy. He's not afraid to throw it up in there. He's definitely not afraid of contact. Runs extremely hard. Has gotten better since last year. Gotten better over the summer, and really had a great camp. He's been banged up with a groin injury, and you know, but he's really ran the ball well. He's really ran the ball hard for us. So we're really proud of what he's doing, and anxious to see how he continues.
Chase Gentry came in with 6 carries for 21 yards.
Yeah, Chase had a good had a great week last week. Kind of got hemmed up at times a little bit. We were rotating bodies and rotating backs, and when we didn't get a lot of offensive plays, it kind of limited his touches, just like it limited all the other running backs' touches. But you know, Chase played well, had a good week of practice. Just kind of got hemmed up at times, and had a nice long run at one time there at the end of the game. And you just got to go out there and keep working. He's always got a great attitude at practice, and does a fantastic job out there. So you know, we expect bigger things from him in the next week.
We definitely need to get him healthy. Who has really been banged up for a while here. So the off week next week will serve a good purpose for him and many others. Bryce Mantooth came in with 1 carry for 8 yards, and then at the end of the game, Adrian Reyes came in with 4 carries for 17 yards.
Right, yeah, both of those two young men are able to fill roles for us in the running back position out there when we're doing certain things on offense. Adrian played obviously in the JV game on Monday night and had a very good game. Bryce came in and did some things, caught a pass, had that one rush. So we've got a decent little group of guys that are really getting better, and it's kind of whoever's hot at that time is what's been doing well for us. So we just got to go back and work. Those guys are going to continue to play well and keep working and go out there on Tuesday when we come back after the break and get better.
Ethan Inslee came in receiving end with 3 catches for 22 yards to lead us on the night.
Yeah, Ethan opened up the night with a great slant, I think 17, 18 yards, had a nice catch, way to get upfield, lower his shoulder and take on contact. This is a young man who did not play offense last year. He was a primary defensive guy. He made the transition in the spring, has become one of our better blockers, catches the ball clean with his hands and continues to work, has a great attitude, fun to coach, and really excited to see what's going to happen because he's a big target. You know, he's a big kid, big hands, long arms, and he showed that on that slant route, obviously.
Matthew Redmond had 3 catches for 19 yards. We took him out pretty early. There were concerns he may have had a concussion in the second quarter. That's obviously nothing that we want to take any kind of risk with, especially a non-region game early in the season with some important games. Other non-region games that we need to grow and build on as a team, and then going forward into the region play. We don't want a guy that like Matthew that does everything for us having a lingering injury. So therefore we made the decision to kind of hold him out, even though we probably could have forced him into action on that particular night. But 3 catches for 19 yards is a pretty good night in limited plays.
Yeah, Matthew's going to get his touches, and he knows that. And you know, you got to go back and get healthy, get the injuries, you know, because he was nagging just bodies, bumps, and bruises as much as he's playing on offense, defense, and special teams. You know, but he's a guy that's going to be relied on heavily throughout the remainder of the season as we get towards gear up for the playoffs.
Ray Morrison on the night had 2 catches for 15 yards.
Yeah, Ray had a good catch, threw it up in there on a quick hitch, on a quick hitter. You know, Ray's a guy that between him, Cade, and the Neely brothers and Ethan, they're big targets to throw to, and those are guys that as they continue to work, continue to understand the offense a little more, big things are going to happen. But you know, you look at Ray and you look at Cade and you look at some of the other guys. Those are some of those young guys that we're playing right now on offense that are just sophomores that really should be playing JV at some point or another, and we're having to rely on them on the varsity side, which is fine. They're good enough to help us at that position, but they're young guys, and so when you play young guys, the learning process is a little bit slower because you're doing so much more, and it just takes a little bit of time for them to get settled in on what we're doing.
Overall, you know, there were some bright spots, but we have to be able to sustain drives and create multiple plays in a row that are positive, you know, drops, a negative run or a short run for 1 yard. You know, even in our screen game, we've got to be able to get 3 to 4 yards. That's our goal. And when we'll work to continue those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, you know, our offense is based off of quick throws, short routes, short throws, and put pressure on the defense and running our screen game. And, you know, our screen game was absent tonight. Didn't work, didn't have opportunities at times. And when we did have opportunities, we either dropped it or we didn't really do a great job on the perimeter. Those are things we go back and work. I mean, that's part of the game sometimes. You make mistakes, you have hiccups, and that's kind of what we had. So we go back to work next week, and we get better at what we're doing. We don't throw in the towel by any means, and we go and get better.
At this time, let's take a look at the highlights. We start out on defense, and they get in a trips open formation here with their tight end. We miss a couple of tackles. Really good tackle, one of Jordan McCamish's, and you can see our guys flying around the football. Kind of started early. Here they come back with a short run route or a hitch route to their receiver, and our guys fly around the ball and tackle them.
Yeah, here's the opening play. We run a little slant combo to Ethan. Nice job catching, getting downfield, lowering his shoulder and making something happen right there. That was really big. We're going to come back right here. We're going to do a sprint out on 3rd down, and we hit Matthew in the hole. You know, Owen started off 5 for 5 throwing and really did a good thing tonight, throwing the football. Here's Ellis right there on a nice little trap play, and like I said, Gavin really ran the ball hard tonight. He's a physical guy between the tackles. Here he is again, back-to-back plays. We run another 10-yard pickup. moving the ball, doing some things, and then we just got to be able to sustain drives a little bit better.
Absolutely. You got to build on things and continue to grow here. Here we get a couple of holds on the other teams that are called, but Jeb Brooker comes up with a sack.
Right, here we go. Here's a nice little run by Chase getting downfield. This was a big, crucial starting drive of the as we're moving down the second quarter.
Here we are with, again, Jordan McCanis doing a great job of solo tackling. At this time, let's take a look at our corporate sponsors.
I'm Trevor Martin, number 28, and I play outside linebacker. I listen to country and rap. My favorite artist right now would probably be Luke Combs. I just like to jam out. I just like listening to music and focusing on the game, what's ahead of me. Last year, I got a pick six versus McMahon. Yeah, that was probably my most memorable moment on the football field. They call me Tico from Dora because I have mainly gums and no teeth. Bora Bora because the water is clear and it looks beautiful. Probably be when they put a bunch of fake snakes around my car and I had a freak out. I freaked out. Last year when we played Dalton, it was on kickoff, return, or kickoff, and Jameer Gibbs absolutely ran me over. I slept with my mom till I was about 10 or 11. I love math. I think I'm really good with math. I want to thank all the coaches for giving me the opportunities they've gave me, and I want to thank my family for helping me get through everything, and I want to thank my friends that have been there for me and the people that actually care and are there for me no matter what. I'm Trevor Martin, number 28, and I play outside linebacker.
I'm Chase Humble. I'm number 7. I play defensive end and linebacker. I listen to country music, a little bit of rap, and that's about it. I always put on my braces, like for my ankles and my knees, so just in case I don't want to get injured, you know. Probably the Southeast game last year with my sack against the quarterback. Probably go to Colorado to see the mountains and the snow and stuff. Jeb, Gavin, and Jacob, they all zip tied everything in my locker and stuff in my truck. The most embarrassing moment is when you're when they call you out there and you don't hear them, and everybody's waiting for you on the field. That's really embarrassing. I guess I was afraid of the dark until I was like 5 or 6, I guess. Every Sunday at my dad's gym, we do arm wrestling practice. I like doing that a lot. I'd like to thank my parents, my coaches, and all my friends and my family for getting me through the season. I'm Chase Humble. I'm number 7. I play defensive end and linebacker.
Welcome back to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm Josh Robinson, and this is Offensive Coordinator Chad Fisher. This past Friday, really the biggest issue was tackling. Our kids played really hard from beginning to end. There were very few times where we record loafs and people that may change speed because they think a play's over, and really we had very few of those because our guys are out playing really hard. But the missed tackles have to get better. It was a little bit at the Calhoun game, and then we seemed to fix it a little bit more last week. And then we were playing a good football team with a few really good athletes, and it got tremendously worse, which is typical when you play good people. But at the same time, we have to tackle better. That's something as a staff we will continue to work on with our young men, and with the level of play of effort that our guys are given. I certainly feel like we can improve on defense and get back to the way we want things to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we know we played a team that was better tonight than how we played, and that's unfortunate. That's what happens. But we played a guy that's a little bit quicker than us on defense. But I thought our kids, regardless of how it may have seemed or how it may have appeared, I thought our kids played hard. I thought they got at you. I thought they lined up and they did everything possible that they could do to be physical for one, and to be in the right spot. We had a few hiccups, obviously, as far as our fits, as far as our running lanes and things of that nature. But our kids tried to do everything in their power to do what they're coached to do, and I think that's evident when they're at practice, and it's evident majority of the time when we're playing in a ball game. And the great group of kids out there, they love contact, they love to play the game, and it was just one of those unfortunate instances. But some guys that really played well and did a lot of good things, and it's just one of those things where we just got to go back and work.
Absolutely. Coach Fisher, we had several guys that accumulated some stats on defense.
Yeah, Chase Humble had 3 tackles, had a tackle for loss, had a QB pressure. Chase is a guy that really prides himself in playing hard and really prides himself in doing the right thing. And he's been banged up, and a lot of people don't know that he's limited during the week with contact. He's limited in his reps because of some injuries that he suffered towards the end of summer. So Chase is a kid that's going to go out there and give us everything he's got.
Our other 3 defensive linemen came in with a pretty good night here. Dakota Hickman had 4 tackles and a quarterback pressure, a guy for us that continues to work hard and play better. He's playing defensive line 185 pounds, makes it a little bit difficult with 300-pounders up there, but he was able to squeak through, get some tackles, pressure the quarterback a time or two, and do some good things. Zach Coslow on the night had 5 tackles and a tackle for a loss, as well as a sack and a quarterback pressure. He's really a tough guy to handle on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. As big as he is and as strong as he is, and I think a lot of people don't understand it, is he's very athletic. He's got great feet. He can move his body well for being as big as he is, and can really cover A gap to A gap, and really does that well. And he's had a good season so far. He had a good game in the scrimmage game, and this is a kid going with his senior year upon him right now, he's going to get better and better and really be a dominant force on our D-line this year.
Absolutely. Jeb Brooker had 3 tackles and a sack and a tackle for a loss, came in, played every offensive play, played 25-ish defensive plays, and really was productive for us. In the linebacking crew, Coach, why don't you give us some stats for Jordan McCamish?
Yeah, Jordan McCamish came out, and I tell you what, this is a kid who drives me crazy at practice because he's always in the play when we're trying to do things, and I say that in a good way because he plays so hard and he enjoys contact, and he's the type of kid that would hit every day if we were allowed to, if GHSA would allow us to hit every day. But Jordan had 9 tackles, he had a fumble recovery, he had a touchdown on the bad snap on the punt.
Absolutely. Jordan's came a long way for us. He's a junior. As a matter of fact, as far as the starter in our front 7, he's the only junior that we have that is not a senior amongst those guys, and has really came on and did a really good job. He missed some tackles as well, but overall, out of his 9 tackles, 3 of them were solos on some really good football players. And then we had Bailey McQuaig come in with 3 tackles, and Logan Akins had 2 tackles himself. Our middle linebackers, we missed too many tackles to those guys. We have shorter middle linebackers. I don't think it's a secret. And when we scrape, we have to really go downhill with a purpose to the correct area. We call it cloudy clear as far as where to go. And a few times we caught ourselves kind of running up the back of people, and our other middle linebacker in there is our junior Jake Fawcett, who had 3 tackles and a pass breakup. He's continuing to improve and give those guys a break. Logan has been fighting injuries for weeks now. We certainly hope he continues to improve there. Colby Ramsey came in with 4 tackles for us on the night, playing outside linebacker, and did a really good job of what we asked him to do. And again, on his own, had a couple of tackles on the night. And then we have our secondary coach, Fisher.
Yeah, secondary, we had a few kids get banged up tonight. And so we had to rotate a few of the bodies in there. But Hayden Pack was a young man. I think he ended up going back to return a kick or return a punt at one time. He had 1 tackle tonight. Jacob Sanders was another one. He was back on kickoff returns. He had 5 tackles tonight. Keith McQuaig, I think we're still waiting. I think he got banged up a little bit. We're still kind of waiting to see the outcome of that. But Keaton had 3 tackles, had 2 assists tonight. Matthew Redmond, we obviously talked about Matthew earlier in the show, that Matthew had some limited reps just out of precautionary issues, but Matthew had 2 tackles. Cooper Pardee, who has gotten better since he's come out there. Basketball kid has played basketball all his life and played football, I believe, in middle school, has come back out for a senior year and has really done a lot of good things, and really is going to be a kid that we're going to rely on, not only on special teams returning kicks, but a young man that we're going to rely on in the secondary. And he had 4 tackles, and then Ryan Baker had 2 tackles tonight.
He did. Overall, with that group, especially with the linebackers, they get exposed more in a game like this where you've got some good athletes. We've got to do a better job of tackling, and there's one way to fix that, and that's to go back to work. At this time, let's take a look at our highlights. Here we are to start the second half. They kick off to us. Ball's going deep, and it ends up, I believe, in our guy's hand, who's running really hard there. Chase Gentry making a good play. We come back on defense. They end up coming out, and there's Cooper Pardee. Really glad to have him back, especially with our depth issues now that we've got people hurt. They come back with another kickoff after they end up scoring, and Jacob Sanders with a return. Really needs to hit that with more speed, but does a good job of fighting and getting those extra 6, 7, 8 yards to improve on our field position.
There's a nice little swing route to Ethan. Ethan had a really good game tonight and did some good things. Very proud of how Ethan and the way he caught the ball and the way he did some things.
Coming back on defense here, we got Bailey McQuaig and Zach Coslow applying some pressure, and Zach comes up with a sack. And here they are running the jet sweep in the second half. Logan Akins does a good job of getting out there. Jordan McCamish, defensive end, I believe Dakota Hickman getting in on it. End up making a punt. They snap the ball over the punter's head, and it's Damon Banta's trying to recover it. Jeb Brooker's diving after it. Finally, Jordan McCamish comes up with it for a touchdown for us. So really good effort play by our guys there. Here we have, I believe, Matthew Redmond on the hold, and Yahir Zapata on the kick for the point after.
Right. Nice little run right there by Gavin, getting up on the zone. like I said, like we talked about earlier, Gavin really ran the ball well, really ran the ball hard, kept his feet moving. Like I said, tackle to tackle guy. Here we are again right there running up there, bouncing outside just a little bit, getting positive yards.
Coming back on defense, they get in a bunch set, run their running back on the outside, does a great job by Chase Humble coming from behind and tackling them for a loss, and then we're back on offense.
All right, here's a little quick hitter to Cade Fisher. Nice little job blocking by Callan Neely, getting positive yards, 8 yards on the first down play right there. Right here is, looks like that Bryce Mantooth on a nice 8-yard pickup, nice little run. Here's Chase Gentry hitting up in there on the zone, really ran well tonight. Adrian Reyes, again, another running back that had a pretty good night when he had some opportunities, had close to 17, 20 yards tonight.
At this time, let's take a look at our corporate sponsors. Welcome back to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm Josh Robinson, and this is Coach Chad Fisher. We will be going into an off week next week, so we will not be back with you guys for a couple weeks until we play Stone Mountain at home. Will be our middle school and recreation night, and we look forward to having those guys. Always a good time to see those young people out there. We play a much improved Stone Mountain team. Won a game this week and played Pickens County within 10 points the week before that. So really good athletes. A quarterback can throw the ball down the field and some tall receivers. So there are things that we're going to have to improve on, and that's good. We want to have a chance to win our region and produce the kind of results that we expect and we know our fans expect and our players expect. And in order to do that, we have to improve, and Stone Mountain will give us a chance to do that. We can't finish the show without congratulating Isaiah Mack, a former football player here, who really did a good job for us. Stuck with the Northwest community and stayed here and felt a commitment to the people that had invested time in him. And then did the same thing in college. He went to UTC, didn't have a ton of Division I offers coming out. He had several, but decided to go with somebody that cared about him and showed him from the beginning that they were interested. And he ended up staying there, had a couple of chances to transfer, and he has made the active roster for the NFL Tennessee Titans. So that's really big. One of the first players in quite some time to make an active roster, and the first Northwest Bruin to do so. So we congratulate him. Absolutely. Until next time, this is Josh Robinson and Chad Fisher.